Greetings and welcome to this short video covering all of the happenings with ATLYSS over the past few weeks. While the game may not have gotten an update, there's still plenty to talk about. I'll be going over some new official merchandise, sneak peeks for future content, and a recent incident involving Kiseff's Patreon. Thank you all for the recent support, and I promise I have another big video in the works that you won't want to miss. Now onto the good stuff, let's talk about that merchandise. A couple weeks ago, Kiseff launched an Angela plushie through Makeship, and just look at the little lady. There's about a week left to pick one up for yourself, and so far it surpassed its funding goal by nearly 800%. That overwhelming support is great to see and possibly opens the door for other kinds of merch. Plushies of other characters would also be cool. In my last video I brought up how the Snapshots channel was drier than the Valley, but that's no longer the case. Kiseff has regularly posted some sneak peeks for what we could expect to see in the next update. For instance, equipment now having special bonuses when worn. This is awesome for those who want to min-max a specific playstyle, and it'll be fun to mix and match different bonuses. It's likely we'll be getting new Magus skills such as Dark Cloud, Multa, Isaga? I don't know. Fear, and Summon Familiar. It was neat to see how the Summon Familiar spell progressed over the week, starting as concept art, then a 3D model, and then its implementation in-game. Look, it's even affected by dyes. The design looks great, and the keen-eyed of you may recognize it from Kiseff's profile picture on Twitter. I like to imagine we're just summoning him with the spell. He also posted some concept art of a Magus Guardian, and I love her outfit and the little familiar by her side. We won't be seeing this stuff for at least until the end of this year. The next update will need some time to come out. I speculate the update could include the full Magus subclass, and if the Magus Guardian is introduced, then that could be a new way of acquiring a subclass. That's just my theory anyways. All of this was a prime example of good communication with the player base. It's just a shame that something happened recently which undermined all that. On the 14th of this week, those of you with access to Kiseff's Patreon Discord channels may have found the discussion channel was mysteriously gone with no explanation given. That's kind of important given that it's one of two channels that are unlocked by paying for a membership. Quick disclaimer before I explain what happened, no screenshots or recordings were taken, so we only have witness testimony to go off of. Kiseff himself has made no public statement about the incident, so I've done as best I can to cross-reference information so I can convey the events accurately to you all. Now then, what happened? There was the usual conversations going on in the discussion channel when a user, who I'll be keeping anonymous, directly asked Kiseff if he wanted a hug. Kiseff then replied to the user with the singular word, harassment, and the user apologized and tried to explain that they meant no harm. It was a few minutes later when the entire channel disappeared with no announcement. I don't blame you if you think that this can't be all that happened, or if it did, that this was an overreaction. I have some additional context that may explain why things ended up the way they did, but this is all just speculation. The channel was meant to be strictly for the development of ATLYSS, not meant for any off-topic chatter or touchy-feely topics. I joined the Patreon a few weeks back and personally witnessed the chat regularly veering off course, and I can't imagine how much that annoyed the man himself. The mods did their best to remind people what the channel was meant for to little avail, and I believe it was these little things piling up that led to the channel's closure, with the hug incident being the straw that broke the camel's back. Additional factors could also be things like Patreons leaking exclusive sneak peeks, or some other unrelated thing. With no explanation from Kiseff, we don't have anything concrete to go off of. This brings me to my main point that the ball was really dropped here. Yes, the user did cross a boundary with the hug request, although closing the channel directly after feels like when the teacher punishes the whole class over what one student did. A better solution would have been to tell this user, hey, please don't say that kind of stuff to me, I don't like it, and even temporarily mute them if that's deemed necessary. The discussion channel doesn't have a concrete list of rules, only some guidelines pinned in the channel itself. If there was a clear rule set with the disclaimer that breaking those would lead to punishment, that would likely cut down on all the excess chatter and reduce stress. As of the making of this video, the channel has not been returned, nor has any announcement been given from Kiseff. From what I've been able to gather, this is around the 4th time in the server's long history that one or more channels were temporarily removed, which is both good and bad. On one hand, that means it's possible that the channel could come back, but on the other, it means that the things you paid to get access to could easily be taken away on a whim. I joined his Patreon so I could more directly give feedback on the game and get a more in-depth look into how the sausage gets made, but with all that removed, the membership doesn't look like a good deal anymore. It also doesn't help that the discussion channels are still advertised as a membership perk, despite being gone. Overall, it was a situation that could have been handled much better, and while I don't entirely blame Kiseff for his decision, the lack of communication around it and swift removal of things people paid money for isn't a very good look. This is easily resolved though, and really shouldn't be blown up into a bigger deal than it is. Unless the channel continues to stay gone with no explanation, that would be bad. Anyways, that's all I've got for this time around. Pick up that plushie so you don't have to be alone while waiting for the next update, and subscribe to me so you don't miss my next video where I kill off Pim. See ya.